Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
A very good Friday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout Live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. Thank you to everyone for listening across the Edmonton Sports Talk audio streams, edmontonsportstalk.com, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Apple Music. Thank you to those watching on YouTube or listening to this on podcast, wherever you get podcasts. Thank you very much. Matt Iwanyk with you here once again on the Hangout, joining us back again, a favorite. I know a fan favorite, Jolene Latimer. Back on the Hangout.
Thanks for having me.
Am I supposed to clap?
You can.
We do clicks on the Hangout, actually.
I can't snap. That's one of the
You can't
things.
snap?
No, I've never been able to snap. I can whistle quite well. I'm not a good snapper.
Are you a good whistler of like the
No,
okay.
just like
that one I can't figure
just
out.
Just like Pied Piper.
Well, we need to introduce him.
Yes,
I brought a friend.
Jolene connected us and brought a friend. And Nick Sulsky, he's the CEO of the curling group. The Co-op Tour Challenge is out at Nisku at the Silent Night Center this weekend. And Nick's coming in because today we'll talk about. He's got his Jays shirt on. So
Go Jays.
Unfortunately, I didn't tell you this before the show. I am a Yankee fan.
That's all right. You're allowed to.
You must be having a really tough.
Yankees lose.
But we will talk about the Jays at some point too, because they're back. They're back at 2-2 series. Now we're into a best of three. So lots to get to. But we're going to talk some curling too today, which is something I like. I absolutely love. Jolene, I know your love of curling. One of the first hangouts we had on you talked about curling. It was like the greatest thing.
I've been bringing it up every time you guys invite me in, just whether the fans want it or not. But they seem
Have
to
you been bringing it up? That's great. Like coming in like, okay, just got us mixing curling today somehow.
I do. Do you remember, okay, this is like kind of full circle because every single time I come on, I find a way to bring up curling. And I remember one time there was no curling news. And I was like, I'm going to talk about these NFLers who are getting into curling because I was doing a story on them. And I worked it into an NFL discussion. Like you guys didn't even know I was trying to do it. Like I did the segue so smoothly.
Wow.
And now Nick is part of that group. And so the whole reason that he's here is like partially to do with the NFLers kind of getting into curling. You could tell the whole story, but I actually manifested this. I'm very proud of myself right now.
That's the best part of that too is that you did something and no one caught on to it.
I
That
know.
months later, long time you're like, this is what I did, and it's like, whoa.
I've been playing you guys this whole time.
That's way more complex than trying to fuse in random words into conversations and bets with friends, right?
Which I also do.
Yes.
I also do that.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, you
Yeah.
guys. Okay, a couple times ago I was here. Can't remember when we were like learning words that the kids use.
You were learning what the Gen Z words
Yeah.
were.
Like 6, 7.
That was
Have you guys
before
heard that
6,
one?
7.
Oh my God.
I have not heard 6,
That's
7.
like
6, 7.
basically.
I have a 17-year-old daughter.
Oh,
6,
okay.
7.
I think.
And then there's no meaning to it.
Oh.
It just, I
You just
I
could
did
drop
some research.
6, 7.
Just 6, 7.
6, 7, brah.
We were learning aura. We were learning about aura.
We learned
right?
about aura forming. But because you brought up the fact that there was a list, the teacher put up a list, like these
Right.
words are not allowed to be said in my classroom.
And-
So we had at the time an intern we've hired, but
Yeah.
when he was here for his practicum, he's 22 or whatever. So we asked him what these words meant and tried getting him to use them in a
And
sentence.
then he challenged me to use one in an article, and I did.
Which word?
It was aura.
You did
It was
get aura.
Yeah, I got it in, not in the like Gen Z way, but I got it in the millennial way. Well, it's in one of my stories. You have to go back, but
They were trying to
actually
also
did it.
claim words from the millennials.
yeah, they were co-opting our culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that's our word. We're like, no, we've been using that before you.
Yeah.
Wow, and look at that co-opting, right? It's the co-op challenge here in beautiful
Oh,
Nisku.
there
See,
we
that's
go.
what we
It's
call
perfect segue.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Segue from the non-professional over here.
Well, you've done TV before, local.
I have done the national
Very.
television.
Oh, even
You told me you
better.
did an OTR.
I did off the record 50 times, 50. I
That's
was on Michael's.
incredible.
I was on the very last panel show ever of off the record.
That's Canadian
go.
history right there.
It was my very first off the record to bring it to the Jays. It was in 2000. Oh God, actually, I don't even know the date. I think it was 2003, 2002, 2003. It was a 10-year anniversary of one of the Blue Jays World Series wins, and I did it with Candy Maldonado. And he was still drunk from the anniversary party from the night before. That was my first experience on Off the Record. I was like, ooh, this is fun.
I missed that show. Like
That's a great show.
I remember the Montreal Screwjob. he went all in
Yep.
on the screw job about Bret Hart losing the title out in Montreal. Like, that was such an incredible show.
Well,
That's
Michael
a
was
shame that's not there anymore.
Well, that's it. And Michael was one of the first sports journalists to actually treat wrestling fairly seriously because he had
true.
all of the wrestling
Yeah.
stars on, and it was he was really great.
They should have at least made that like once a week. Like, I get budget cut. They should have just made that like a once a week show. That's what
Well, and
That's a shame.
TSN should have also kept a specific sports radio show in Edmonton, from what I understand.
Yes.
Well, or now that we've built this,
better this way.
we've got
It's
actually
better
there's
this
the
way.
logo of us.
Just-
Oh,
That
look
from
at
the old
that.
place. We got blackout curtains. I got to cover that. We moved into this office back at basically the beginning of August, end of July. So there's still a few things that we haven't done.
Some TSN branding you guys scavenged, pillaged.
Yeah, we took a bunch of things
Yeah.
as we left. Well, it was weird because they let us go. And usually when you get let go, it's like, leave. We'll set up time so you can come back and get what you need. And they're like, just wander around. Like, when you're good to go, go. Just leave your key card on. Like, literally, I could have walked out with monitors.
Jeez.
And then eventually they would be like, we need those monitors back. But like,
If they
didn't
remember
there
to
was
retract
no
it.
security at all that was like following us. They're like, yeah, just go grab what you need and take your time and leave. And one guy I know went like through, because there was 3 radio stations and the CTVs on the other side. He went and said bye to everyone. Like, walked through the whole building saying bye to everyone. It was just like, I want to get out there as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that would be more
But-
than I would want to do.
So so I was able to grab some things that we wanted, including something like that, which would never be used again. The EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage, Canada Storage experts, more than 2 decades, helping Canadians through life transition. Canadian storage provider. Be sure to buy Canadian. As I said, Nick, well, I don't know if I said Nick Sulsky, because we just
we almost missed
went on this
introducing him.
tangent. CEO of the Curling Group. He is joining us here. As we said, Nisku is hosting the Co-op Tour Challenge, Grand Slam of Curling Tour event that is out here in our area. Before we get to the NFL part of this, how does Nick Sulsky get into the Curling Group, and what is the Curling Group?
The Curling Group is just an incredibly cryptic and creative name of our corporate entity that was used to acquire the Grand Slam of Curling. We raised a bunch of money, built a pretty cool business and team so far, launched our own OTT platform and fast channel, rockchannel.com, where people can watch curling 24 hours a day. And then we're launching the first ever professional curling league in April, like an actual pro league that's going to launch right after the Olympics. Now, how I got into curling, I ran PointsBet, sports betting company based it's an Australian publicly traded company, but we launched in Canada. I was the first employee, built the business, built the team, built the brand up in Canada, did a deal with Curling Canada. Because let's face it, there's hundreds of hours of content on TSN every year around curling. And curling is not as expensive as some of the other sports to partner with. And the most important thing from a sports gambling perspective, and I see Play Alberta as one of your proud sponsors, good on you. You need to earn a level of trust with consumers when you're launching a brand, because the first thing that any sports betting company needs is for a user to enter their credit card information. And so in order to build a brand and to build integrity and trust with the user, curling seemed to be a pretty good, authentic sport to align with. Not to mention, we really wanted to try and lean into a Canadian first approach, because PointsBet, was the first company to actually build a headquarters in Ontario, which was the first regulated province in the country. And so I did a deal with Curling Canada. I'm not a curler. I watched it like everyone does during the Olympics or during the Brier and the Scotties. And then I remember after doing the deal, because it was just a good business move from a brand building perspective, I walked into my first curling event, which ironically was actually a Grand Slam event that was in Toronto, the Players Championship back in 2021. And I walked in expecting old fat white guys. Out of shape, just like drinking, smoking, like, the way that
They used to be.
They used to be. And I'm
They
old.
used
I'm
to
older
be.
than you guys. And that's the way I remember it. And I was like, holy cow. These are like young, fit, attractive, male and female athletes. I was like blown away. I was not expecting that. And, as an entrepreneur, and I've been a brand builder and an entrepreneur my entire life, the things that get me the most excited is when I walk into a situation and there's a stereotype or a perception that I have, and the reality is different than that. That gets me excited because, wait, that's there's opportunity. Like this is, if I, as a sports freak, which I am, if I had a specific interpretation of something and it's wrong, that means that probably other people have that too. And I like that challenge, right? But it was after the curling event. I'm across the street in a bar, just having a drink with a couple buddies. And I turn and the curlers that I was just watching on the ice are in the bar having a drink with each other and talking with the fans. And I was like, wait, this is wicked. And I grew up playing rugby. I played rugby my entire life. I lived in Australia for a little bit. And the rugby community is a very strong community, right? Like we play hard and we party hard, right? And there's something really compelling about that because sports is a community thing, right? And so I was standing in that bar that night, my first experience with curling after doing the curling deal. So I was already kind of pot committed, no pun intended. And I was like, okay, this is really cool. So that was 2020. That would have been 2021. 2022, our partnership with Curling Canada launched. We created the PointsBet Invitational, which was the first like single elimination knockout tournament in the history of curling, which is pretty cool. And then fast forward to 2023 and 2024, and I ended up leaving PointsBet and bought the Grand Slam of curling, which was ironically the first curling event I actually ever witnessed. And now we're innovating and growing and building on a sport that was founded in 1511. Think about that.
It was founded in 1511.
1511.
Cool.
Right? There you go.
Yeah, by Scottish monks at Paisley Abbey, which I have been to, actually, the birthplace of curling.
Monks.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
As someone who's full of curling for a while, I'm learning some things right now about this sport.
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Scottish. So then how does this connect with the NFL story? Because I forgot the NFL story then.
So, well, he's better at telling it, so I'm going to let you keep telling it.
Well, I mean, I'll keep talking.
Start
You've known me for a little while, Matt. You've just gotten to know me. I'll talk, and I apologize to everybody out there. No, it was as I started my journey in curling, I got to know the CEO of USA Curling, a guy by the name of Dean Gemmell, great guy. And as Dean started learning that my intentions around the sport were big, he mentioned to me that Jared Allen, who at the time had just retired or had retired recently from the NFL, drafted by the Chiefs, played for the Vikings, that
Beast.
Jared, after retiring from the NFL, had committed himself to making the U.S. Olympic curling team. And I was like, wait, Jared Allen? And unfortunately, I grew up in Los Angeles and I am a diehard Raiders fan because I grew up in L.A. when the Raiders were there. And so I grew up hating Jared because he played for the Chiefs.
Yeah, he would have went up against your team.
Oh, yeah. But then I started loving Jared Allen because I'm a teenager at heart and he wore the number 69. And if you remember, he was the first NFLer during like player intros where it's like, what school did you go to? And he was like, the Culinary High School of South Dakota. Like he would just have fun, right? He was a cool cat.
Those ones were great.
They were so good,
When those
right?
first started happening, because you'd have like University of Alabama, University of Michigan, and then you'd have the one that would do something different, and they would stand out.
And I think Jared was the first one to do that. But regardless, so I was introduced to Jared just because I was curious about that. So Dean introduced me to Jared, and then Jared and I hit it off, became friends. And then Jared mentioned to me that Mark Bulger, another former NFL quarterback, he played for the Rams, played for the Ravens, they both live in Nashville, and that Bulger had gotten into curling as well. And Mark built T-Line, which is a curling club and a sports bar in Nashville. And I was like, wait, Mark Bulger, former Pro Bowl quarterback, built a curling club in Nashville, and Jared Allen and George Kittle and TJ Hawkinson all curl there. What? And my wife and I had never been to Nashville before. And so this was the spring of 2023. My wife and I went on a trip to Nashville. Mark and I became friends. Just over like talking and stuff like that. We went down, hung out with Mark and his wife, got to see T-Line, and it blew me away. It was the coolest curling facility I've ever been to. It's like an incredible sports bar, 3 sheets of ice, bowling alley, this and that, but it's amazing.
It's really nice. It's very well done. And what's so funny to me is that I found out about them a couple years before, actually before the pandemic. I had heard that they were getting into curling. And I went to Nashville. I flew to Nashville, did a story on them that we put on the World Curling website. And at the time, they were curling on hockey ice. And they were like, oh, like there's no dedicated ice in Nashville. Mark's going to build something. And, like people always say stuff like that. So I was like, all right, well, we'll see what happens. Pandemic happens. I kind of forget about them. I checked back in on the story 4 or 5 years later. And then already you had met up with them and it had exploded and they had built the facility and they were moving forward with all these plans. I was like, wow, no one ever does what they say.
No one follows through.
Yeah, no one follows through, but they really did.
They did, and we hosted the first ever all-star game and skills competition in the history of curling in Nashville last April, and it was awesome. And Jared was there, George Kittle and TJ Hawkinson were there. George and TJ and Jared are all investors in the curling group. Jared works. We've become friends. Jared is actually, we're doing the first ever Grand Slam of curling event in Lake Tahoe in 2 weeks, November 4th to 9th.
Sweet.
And Jared Allen is curling in the event alongside John Morris, one of the most legendary curlers ever. And I don't know if I'm breaking this, whatever, this might be breaking news, but the four members of the team, it's Jared Allen and Johnny Moe, Jason Smith, who plays lead with Jared, and Wayne Madaw is coming out of retirement.
No way.
Wow.
Wayne Madaw is going to be throwing last rocks.
What a team.
Right. So that is going to be that's going to be so much fun. So the NFLers, I mean, that was one of the breadcrumbs. Like the popularity of curling growing in the States is so important for this sport. Right? Curling is starting to grow all over the world, and that's what got me excited about it. It's massive in Asia right now. It's blowing up in Japan. China, it's getting incredibly popular because the Chinese curlers are starting to perform at a high level. In South Korea, it's big. And it's always been big in kind of Northern Europe.
Yep.
But breaking into the States is so very important. And it's so hard. There's so many sports now. There's so many new emerging sports. One of the things that excites me about curling is that it is already in the Olympics. So it's not like pickleball or paddle or whatever. But the U.S. audience really does respond to celebrity in ways that we don't in Canada even respond to it. So having these NFL
They elected
stars,
a president partly because of it. Like straight up, like
100%.
to take one of the reasons he became president, Ronald Reagan,
Yep.
Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yep.
became governors and president.
Yep.
Name power matters.
That's
to
right.
Americans.
Well, name power matters in Canada too. If I remember our former prime minister.
Well, you're 100%
I'm glad
right.
to be. I'm glad to be sitting in Alberta. Let's just put it that way.
But you're 100% right. Like but it's at a lesser degree than what America does.
100%.
Like it's named like who was Stephen Harper? Who was Mark Carney? Who is Pierre Paul? Like they're kind of nobodies.
That's right.
The other ones, you want they look for the name.
Bingo. And being able to have Jared Allen in a curling event, being able to reference George Kittle and TJ Hawkinson is massive for the U.S. audience because there's lots of people that talk about curling every 4 years because curling is the most watched Winter Olympic sport.
Yeah, you guys said that before the show, which was wild.
Yeah, but the problem with the U.S. is it's not like Canada where TSN broadcasts the Scotty and the Briar and Sportsnet broadcasts the Grand Slam of curling. None of those events up until recently with the Grand Slam of curling has ever been distributed into the U.S. So an American sports fan only sees curling every 4 years. So curling blows up and then it dies because there's nothing to keep that excitement level. So for the first time, like we started broadcasting into the U.S., but just on our OTT and Fast channel, we have a U.S. broadcaster that's going to start, national broadcaster that's going to start broadcasting the Grand Slam of curling starting in 2 weeks in Tahoe. Now, I'm not ready to announce who that is yet because that'll happen next week.
Damn.
Yeah, sorry. I gave you
already
Wayne
got one
Madaw.
exclusive.
I'll take Wayne Madaw. I'll take Wayne Madaw.
I've given you Wayne Madaw. So, breaking into the U.S., one, you got to give people something to watch. You got to give them a reason to tune in. And the fact is, we know in February, everyone's going to fall in love with the sport again. So how do you keep that interest, which is why we're going to launch Rock League, that first pro league ever, right after the Olympics. So, the U.S. NFL player element to the sport is really vital because I think it will at least get some people to, I remember that from the Olympics. Oh, wait, that's Jared Allen. He just made the wait. And then they'll tune in. And I think they'll have a similar experience that a lot of us up here have had the great pleasure of having is, it's pretty fun to watch. It's like golf or baseball, it's a little meditative and, it's live 12 hours a day. So
You can watch it all day.
That's it. And from a sports gambling perspective, you can gamble on it all day long.
Which is one of the reasons why the NFL has blown up was the
Fantasy
gambling
football, man.
Gambling and fantasy football.
There you go.
Big glow up. Well, and like I just thinking of Hawkinson and Jared Allen, the state of Minnesota, like that's big for, and they love their winter stuff too. Like so,
That's right.
That's a nice market. A couple of ex-Vikings, or current Viking and an ex-Viking.
Well, curling is starting to really blow up in the Midwest, and Iowa. That's where George and TJ both went to university. There's something about Iowa tight ends because Robert Tunyon is also a curler. I haven't met him yet, but he's also a curler.
Those Hawkeyes do something.
That's right, eh? But no, the idea around curling is being we want to be a big fish in a small pond, right? Which is what I love. I'm not suggesting that Edmonton is a small pond, but Nisku is. Doing curling events in major metropolitan cities where there's a lot of professional sports competition is challenging, right? Where having an incredible sporting event with the world's best athletes, both male and female, in a place where there isn't NFL and NBA and NHL and CEBL, like all the other sports, like it gives people an extra reason to go out there and engage, because the thing about curlers that I love the most is they're so accessible. They're so open. Go to any curling event. You'll see the losing team stand and sign autographs for 15 minutes after the game. Like, it's unheard of. Like, no other sport is like this, which is kind of what got me excited about it.
Yeah, the patches are just famous for knowing that you can go party and you'll be drinking with the team that's on the ice in the morning.
Well,
Exactly.
I'll give you one more. You know what's happening on Saturday night in Nisku? We do something. We started this last year. It's called the Grand Slam of Karaoke. So I learned that curlers love karaoke because they travel together and stuff, right? So last year we decided, instead of doing like a live band, like a big concert on Saturday nights, let's put the curlers up in front of a live band, in front of the fans, and battle. We made a big wrestling belt. I'm a huge wrestling fan. So we made like a big wrestling belt, and we put up a prize purse. Like, we put up like real money, and they battle in front of the fans, and we live stream it. We had over 20,000 people live stream the Grand Slam of Karaoke in our first event. Dude, so you can go to rockchannel.com, go to our YouTube channel, and you can watch it live. It's so fun. Saturday night, it's going to happen after the semifinals. So for anyone out there that still wants to come, I think there's still some standing room tickets available for Saturday nights, the semifinals. So literally you have the four best curling games of the week, bang, we're all in one spot. And then right after, around 10:30 p.m. at night, Grand Slam of Karaoke starts. And there's 9 teams that have signed up for it. 9.
That's a lot.
Well, because what we're also doing in Beaumont, which is incredible. This is actually the biggest Grand Slam of curling event of all time, because we're also doing an under 25 and an under 15 event at the Beaumont Curling Club. So there are over 60 curling teams that are competing this week between Nisku and Beaumont. And the Grand Slam of Karaoke that we're doing on Saturday night is for the under 25 and under 15 teams. So this is their opportunity to get noticed, because we're also building the first professional league. So we get a lot of questions from curlers like, how do I get in the league? Because there's only going to be 60 total curlers in the league, but 30 men, 30 women. It's the first mixed gender professional sports league in the world. Mixed. 6 teams, 5 men, 5 women on each team. So and they're going to be playing together, which is really, really exciting. So we get a lot of questions from curlers like, how do I get into the league? Because, talent is one thing, but marketability is so important. We have to grow a sport.
Yeah.
So these young curlers are coming to play. Yeah, we're going to go and watch them play. And there's, people within our organization that are building rosters and teams, but social media presence and marketing yourself. And we need to build a star system. And let's face it, putting a microphone in athletes' hands doesn't go wrong all that often. I mean, sometimes it's gone wrong.
Sometimes it's better when it does go wrong.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, it's just athletes. People want to know more about the athletes. They don't want the standard questions always. They just want that personality. And I'll always go back, like Alphonso Davies, who's a star Canadian soccer player. He got hurt, and there's been times where he just goes on Twitch and streams, watching a game, or he'll just go play games, and people are asking him correct questions directly. And it's just kind of the new age way of connecting with fans and the players. And that's another way. It's people just want to see them. Like, it's not always about, I need to know what they're thinking about curling. I just want to see what they're like as a people. They're great.
Why did F1 explode in North America?
Drive to Survive.
There you go. Right. Lift the veil.
Yeah.
And that's what's that's what's really exciting about this sport, because it's men and it's women. And this is the thing that I'm obsessed with right now. If you ranked the top 10 curlers on planet Earth right now, irregardless of gender, there would be women on that top 10 list.
Oh,
name another sport.
Yeah.
Name another sport that's like that. There isn't. There is not another sport. So a lot of
Holman would be in contention for number
Holman
one.
is number
for
one.
me,
She's
right
the
away,
best.
Right?
No, she is.
She'll put her as number.
No, and you ask other curlers,
They'll
and they
say
would put her as
she's
number
number one.
And so a lot of people, and Jolene and I have talked about this before, a lot of people recently, and you work in sports, there's been, especially over the last couple of years, with Caitlin Clark and the growth of the WNBA, there's been a lot of talk about gender equality in sport, right? Most people equate gender equality with pay, money. Ironically, the Grand Slam of curling is the first sporting event in the world that had equal prize money for men and women. But we'll put that off to the side. So most people are equating gender equality with pay. Gender equality is being able to watch a sporting event and seeing women and men playing at the same elite competitive level, and those women are doing as well as those men. That is gender equality in sport, and there's no other sport like that. There really isn't. People are like, oh, what about tennis? No. I remember Serena Williams doing one of those late night talk shows when she was kicking everybody's ass, and she was asked, oh, like, why don't you play Andy Murray? Oh, because he would beat me 6-0, 6-0 in 25 minutes. Like, the power and strength is real, right? It's real.
You just can't argue biology.
Exactly. Now, if you...
Two ways.
Exactly.
For certain things, yeah.
No. Well, you can't. I mean, especially as it relates to sports, and I know it's been a hot topic issue for a long time, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's fact. Like, biology is biology. Now, you put a top men's team against a top women's team, or you put a top women's team, against an average men's team, that men's team will beat that women's team 100 times out of 100, because sweeping, which is the physicality of curling, is a massive advantage for males. But Rachel and Alina Patz and Anna Hasselborg being back end, being skips, being thirds, now all of a sudden, Carrie Anderson, now all of a sudden, the power,
the female mind,
the mind,
it's the
strategy,
mind.
the
strategy,
mind.
the shot, just releasing
The
of
touch,
that rock, knowing your touch and all that.
Yeah, I mean, women can't throw it as hard as Kevin Cooey, like that. But the great thing
Sometimes
about,
you don't need that.
Exactly.
If your strategy's right, you don't need that.
Bingo. And the draw and the hitting, you don't need all that power. So anyway, I've just been talking a lot.
No, but
Sorry,
it's great.
Jolene.
No, we were talking about this last night, because it is the only sport, really. I can't think of another sport where women and men can be competitive on a co-ed team. I mean, could you imagine Rachel Holman skipping for a bunch of dudes on her front end? Like, that would be...
She could go
very
take
cool.
over a team to the Briar.
Yeah, she probably could.
no.
And she'd go win it.
She
For sure.
probably could,
Right? Or
yeah.
if one of the teams went, we need a skip, and she's like, yeah, I'll come skip for
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah.
She could lead them, at the very least, depending on their level almost. Like,
Yeah.
are they weighing her down
Yeah.
Yeah.
to a degree compared to everyone else? She would be in contention.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Well, when we did that All-Star game in Nashville, and we did a mixed gender All-Star game. Best curlers in the world were there. The MVP of that game was Carrie Anderson. She was on fire. It was to a point where we allowed subs in the game, which, when it comes to Rock League, the rules of curling they've been built in this little traditional echo chamber. They're changing.
Nick
And we're
is-
Oh,
changing.
it's
Nick
funny.
is
I want to
very
get to that because I saw on Instagram with you and Devin Haru, and you. I just saw like a comment of like, we got to change it, all that, and it's like the CFL right now. There have been some rule changes that are coming.
Not enough as far as I'm concerned.
You want 4 downs?
If it doesn't
Yeah, we're on
there.
different sides on this one right
Well,
off.
no,
the bat.
if it doesn't, in my opinion, if it doesn't go to 4 downs, the CFL is in risk. If the UFL catches on, and the XFL was close. No, the UFL is funded though. The UFL has proper financial backing. If it wasn't for COVID, the XFL they were
doing something, but their
were
TV
on a
numbers
streak.
were dropping.
Yeah.
The Rock's out now. They sold the group.
Oh no, I know.
So and they're moving from bigger markets to small, which though I think to
It's
what your
smart.
point is,
Yep.
that is probably the smartest thing they're doing.
100%.
Is they're leaving the bigger markets and going to the Louisvilles.
Yep.
And I think Boise.
Yep.
That is the smart stuff. I will agree with them, but it's also just not taking off, and that's 4 downs. So, but we'll get back to that. But it's funny that like the conversations happen in the CFL. There's the diehards and stuff, traditionalists that don't want things changed.
Yep.
But there is a change needed, and I know I just saw the thing with Devon and stuff. There are certain things that need to be different.
Nick is so comfortable with, like, you're an innovator. So he's very comfortable with, like, remixing things, like pushing the boundaries, changing rules, not a traditionalist at all. And some of the rule changes that you've already tried, I mean, I've been talking to athletes this week about some of them. And, you know, there's people who, I don't know if I like this one that much. This or other ones doesn't bother them at all. But it's all about trying to make the game a little bit faster, better for TV, engage more audiences who are casual fans.
Yep.
And those are the ones that you've just tried. And then the other ones that kind of you're dreaming about or experimenting with, I think will even push the game a little bit further. So maybe you could talk about just some of the ones already that you're implementing, the rule changes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one that comment that I made on the pregame show with Devin that kind of took off a little bit yesterday on me, which was super fun. I like when internet trolls come after me. It's fun.
They're talking about it,
dude. Our head of PR. I'm sitting there last night as some of for the other night as some of the stuff comes. I'm like, oh, can I respond to this? And our incredible head of PR and comms, Jenny Krams, is looking at me like, just ignore it. Don't do it.
She told me to keep an eye on you today.
All right, Jenny, here we go.
Yeah.
No, I mean the one of the rules that we're testing this week. So in curling, there's blanks, right? So
I hate the blanks. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, you don't hate them as much as I hate them.
It's why part of the reason why I actually like the women's game better than the men's game is the men's game is a little too perfect, that there's too many blanks, and I go, I want points.
Well, bingo. And not only you, the casual sports fan, if you tune into a sport and they're like, one of the reasons why I think the NHL and soccer candidly hasn't really taken off in the US is 2-1 games. It's not exciting. You want points, you want drama. Now, from a curling perspective, I remember St. John's, Newfoundland last year was the most electric curling experience I've ever had. It was sold out, 7,000 seat arena. And on the Thursday night, Brad Gushu, hometown boy, was playing Mike McEwen and repping Saskatchewan. And the boys, I remember I was with them at 2 a.m. the night before, and we were just having a drink, and it's like, you guys should do a walkout, like a wrestler, right? Like I love wrestling. So they did that. They had we got them like Saskatchewan flags, and like they left because usually the traditional way that curling games start is all the teams line up on the end and they get introduced one by one, and it's boring as shit, right? It's like, this isn't the way that you introduce athletes. Like, come on.
Well, with the bagpiper, if there's bagpipes, I'm in.
I'm a big fan.
Bagpipe's great.
As much as I poo-poo on traditionalism, I got to agree. I like bagpipes.
We got to get some
curling.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
It can't be a curling one without some bagpipe.
No, but I want to get Jonathan Davis. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's the lead singer of Korn, and he plays. They
were just in town a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I know. I heard, and he plays the bagpipes. Anyway,
we got to get. Those are the bagpipes that we need.
I totally agree. So it was that night. The McEwen boys do this big walkout. Like they leave the ice, and everyone's like, where'd they go? That's not what they're supposed to do. And then all of a sudden, they do a walkout intro, and the crowd is going crazy. It is electric in there. And then the game starts with 3 consecutive blank ends, and the venue is dead. And I'm literally, Devin Haru and I are in like the bar or the lounge, whatever it is, watching. And I got into trouble that night because I'm standing there with Devin, and then Johnny Moe is in there and a bunch of curlers. And I'm like, Devin, like, how about like, what do you think about no double blanks for the next event? Devin's like, ooh, that's a good idea. And I'm like, hey, Johnny, what do you think about no double blanks for the next event? Meaning you blank one end if you blank the second and the hammer flips. Johnny's like, that's a good idea. And then so Devin tweets it out. It's like 9:30 at night. And then Jenny walks down and is like, what did you guys just do? Don't do that. Anyway, so I learned my lesson. But this week in Nisku, we are testing a new rule where every team only has 1 blank per game. You have 1 blank. You can use it whenever you want, but you can only blank one.
So if you blank the 3rd end, you get hammer for the 4th.
And then you cannot blank again.
If it happens, you have a blank, you just use hammer.
Yep.
Love it.
So we're testing that. And I will say the points are up, and it's been pretty fun. Right. And so we're also testing in London during the first slam of the year. instead of going to extra ends, we said, okay, it's just a draw to the button, like a shootout to end the game. But then in the playoffs, we went back to extra ends. Curling games cannot be 2.5 hours. We have to figure out a way to get the sport to 2 hours. The ideal broadcast window, especially in the US, is 2 hours, right? So extra ends, to me, it's too unpredictable from a broadcast scheduling perspective, and it's long. Extra ends are long. So this week we are testing in the playoffs. The shootout's going to go all the way. So for the final, you could have a shootout in the final to determine who the winner is.
Really, in the final? That's a tough way to lose the final.
Well, yeah. Talk to I forget which team. Talk to Roberto Baggio. See, I'm old. They lost
Italian.
They lost the World Cup because he missed a penalty shot in the goal. So if you can have penalty shots in soccer, why can't you have penalty shots?
But I know, like
curling?
soccer fans, like it is. There's a lot of soccer people that do get a little upset that does end in that way, but it's just also like can't run forever. Like the bodies just go down and they can't only do so much. So, the last World Cup, it was penalty kicks, but it was also one of the greatest soccer games I've ever seen in my life, Argentina and France.
Oh,
like it was Messi and Mbappe were going at it and ended in penalties, but it was great.
Yeah.
But sometimes you kind of have to do it. But we're also locked in on the hockey way of what's got to be next goal. Like it would never fly, the idea of 3-on-3 even in the playoffs of the NHL. Has to be 5-on-5, and we go. But then we're all locked in on that hockey. That we relate that to other sports.
Purists, we're purists about it. Yeah.
Whereas, the NFL should go to the CFL, NCAA shootout style overtimes.
Yeah, they're getting closer though.
They are getting closer, but I still would prefer let's just do the shootout. Let's just put the ball at the 30. One team gets the possession, next team gets the possession. Just keep going that way.
I agree. Super fun. So that role, we're as Jolene said, we're testing lots of things. Because at the end of the day, the goal is a casual fan who tunes on curling for the first time. If it's 1-0 in the fourth end, they're like, what is this? Right?
And you have to be a diehard then, which isn't the casual, to understand the strategy that was behind it and why we got there. And actually there is a beauty to that for those diehards. But that casual then sits there and goes, I want points. Right.
No, well, that's it. And I understand the strategy of a good blank. And I know they all say, well, if you're going to get a blank, there could be an incredible triple takeout and or what. I get it. But at the end of the day, and this is what I said, I think it took a lot of flack. I believe, and maybe I'll be proven wrong. The traditional hardcore curling fan, they're still going to watch. They love curling. They're still going to watch. Now, I don't think these rule changes are going to impact their love of the sport, because the thing that these traditional curling fans need to understand, and we've been taking a lot of heat because we're also putting music in the venue. Music is playing in the venue.
That is a controversial choice.
I want that more.
No, we're doing it.
I want that. No, but it's basketball's great for that. Lacrosse is great 100%. For that. The music in that.
I was at the
Bring
Jays
it to
game.
hockey.
I was at the Jays game. I was at game 1 in Toronto. And there's music, except for when the pitcher is pitching, there's music. Now, what I say to a lot of these traditional curling fans who get angry with some of the way that we're trying to implement changes and rules, music, whatever, is go talk to the curlers. The curlers love it. The curlers love it. The curlers love most of the curlers love these changes to the rules. They love trying to make the game a little bit more fun, a little bit spicier. They love the in-venue experience. And what I like to say to a lot of these traditional curling fans is if you love curling, the first thing you have to understand is you also love the curlers. So if you don't embrace the things that the curlers who you love are happy about, get over yourself.
Well, it's
literally.
Also, if you love curling, then it would follow that you would also love curling to continue to be a sport that the next generation really loves and can attach to.
That's right.
So if you can't find ways to sort of make it appealing for the next group coming up, then it's a little bit selfish.
Well, and I'll tell you, this is if I were to have one goal, this is it, and it's a big one, and this kind of speaks to how dramatically the entire infrastructure, ecosystem, and perception of curling has to change. I'm looking forward to the day when an elite 9-year-old athlete who loves to curl, also loves to play baseball, loves to play hockey, they're an elite athlete, whatever young age they happen to be. And they can actually dream to be a professional curler. Because at this point, if you're an elite athlete and you love to curl, but you're good at other sports and you want to be a professional athlete, you're not picking curling. Because like right now, the future of an elite curler is I'm going to curl, I'm going to make a little bit of money, and I'm going to have a second job. Most curlers have second jobs. Now, that's
in North America.
In North America.
In Asia, not so much.
No, but they're not. And in Europe, some of the curlers are under contract, but they're not getting rich. Right. And when they're done curling, most of the elite curlers, they have to go back into the general workforce, which is fine. But in other professional sports, if you're an elite athlete, you have opportunities to stay and work in that sport, whether it's in the front office, whether it's in the league, or whether it's in the media, right? So in order to build curling properly, to allow the sport to grow the way that these hardcore curling fans really, I mean, I think that should be the goal of everybody, to see the sport they love grow to a point where you can have the next Rachel Homans and the next Matt Dunstones and the next Brad Jacobs choose curling when they're growing up and not have to be pushed into other sports, because that's just where the money is. That's where the future is. That's where the financial security lay, right? So, I mean, that's a big aspiration, but it's going to take time to get there. But I mean, I think what we're trying to do is plot the course there. And yeah, sometimes when you're driving somewhere, you Waze takes you off the beaten path a little bit, because their algorithm is trying to divert you, so other people who use Waze and click on those things more, actually they get the real directions. They put you 2 minutes aside. Anyway, sorry, I'm a Waze conspiracy
why
theorist.
I don't use Waze.
Yeah. No, I'm a Waze conspiracy.
Yes.
I test it now when I see a specific location or direction that I know how to get to multiple ways. I'll just take different routes just to see if Waze is effing with me. And I'll tell you, it's because I'm not clicking on the buttons.
It's so
I'm not clicking
bad
on the
all
ads.
the time. I'm just
I
like,
agree.
what's going on?
Oh yeah, no, it's all we're all living in the we're living in the
I won't let
the
it
simulation.
track me.
Come on,
Track me.
Yeah,
But I will say this about curling fans: most of them really do get it.
Yeah.
And really are so flexible, and that's what I've been surprised about talking to different fans about the rule changes. I would say that a majority of the people I talk to are very open-minded about, they're just like, well, let's try it. If it's good, then great, because they do want the sport to grow. Like, I would say that is 99% of curling fans, which is really cool, because they know that curling is something special and they want to see it grow. So it's kind of nice to see the community on board with experimenting. And the thing is, if some things don't work, won't do it twice, right?
Exactly. If we get diverted a little bit, we can always find our help get our course plotted. Now, we've just gotten to know each other. You're just getting to hear me. Your audience is just getting to hear me. At the end of the day, I think the thing that some of the curling fans out there don't know about me that the curlers know now, because I've gotten to know them for a couple of years. Jolene has gotten to know. Like, I say it the way that I feel it. I'm a passionate fella, but this is from a place of love of this sport, right? Like, I'm not a curler, but I love this sport and I love these athletes, and I want to see them succeed. Now, if we succeed, will I and my company make a lot of money? Hells yes. But we deserve it, because we're the ones taking the financial risk right now, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, a rising tide, I say this all the time, but a rising tide does lift all boats, right? And I speak to the world governing body, World Curling. I talk to them all the time, and head of Curling Canada and the head of, British Curling. And when you're a disruptor, or when you're trying to innovate something in a sport, you frequently, you look at Liv and the PJ, like, you butt heads, right? We're working together because they see the same thing, and we're the ones who are actually trying to test things and change things because it benefits everybody.
Well, and for them, like, they might have been scared to try anything different because they didn't want to send those shockwaves. So having 100%. Somebody else that's like, you want to go do that? Go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's watch. That's right. What's going on over here now? Oh, yeah.
That's right.
You guys are doing what now? And like, it's always good though to have those things, because like, everyone needs also that one spot where they can experiment with things. And it's, baseball will be the robo, automatic base thing next year. That was been tried in the minors. The AHL has done things for the NHL in the past. You need someone that's going to try. But now it's actually the top league though doing it. Like, it's with the top curlers that you're trying something, which is great. And And curling hasn't been immune to those like small changes.
Yeah,
like
there have been real changes in curling.
It's now 5 rocks have to be thrown before you could take out a guard, which it used to be 4. Homan was great at the ticks on those first few. You can't even do that anymore, if I'm not mistaken. If it's on the Sentinel, like.
Yeah, you are so up on your curling knowledge.
I've loved this sport. Eric does too, and we like straight up. We usually have our station running on the TV over there. But Brian and Scotty's week, we force everyone to watch curling here.
I love it
because it is such fun. But yeah, like there have been various rule changes to try to increase, excitement or scoring. So like honestly, for me, the blank one is you already got a fan over here. You already got a fan because that does get a little annoying to me because it's just like I don't want 4 ends of a game played and it's 1-0.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're like, actually, I think the Briar final last year? I think that one had a bunch of blank ends or something. And it's like,
for sure.
I understand. Like, it's kind of what I like about watching baseball in person. Like, nothing happens until everything happens.
yeah.
And you don't understand why the everything means something unless you've watched all the nothing leading up to it. But like I'm a hardcore fan. So I'm not in the use case, right? Like most people are not going to watch for the nothing, just for the drama to build. And I respect that. That's fine. So I think it's good too to have, let's run up the points. But every league, I mean, this happens in the PWHL too. They test rules to increase offense. Like it is.
And there has to be a balance there. You don't want, 20 to 19 games, right? Like you want, but like the Briar final this past year, which Alberta won, so yay. But this is probably if there's going to be a casual person watching one Briar match for the week, likely going to be the final possibly.
Right.
And it was blank, 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 blank.
Yeah.
The first 4 ends.
And it was 10 ends long.
Right. And you're almost halfway through this match and it's just 0 point score.
Yeah.
And if you're casual just turning on for the first time, you look at that and you go, this is what curling is?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas at the very least, so I love the idea of the one blank.
Yep. One
And
blank.
like just because the strategy.
Well, let's face it.
Do you force your opponent to take a blank so that they have that off the board?
Do you want to use it early? Do you save it like a timeout? Is that better for later? Or do you want that in the 9th end so you can get it for the 10th
Well, we're
end?
only 8 ends, thank God.
Okay.
10 ends is way too long. But
Do you want in the 7th end so that you can maintain a hammer for the 8th? Like, it just adds a little extra strategy.
No, it's extra strategy, right? And it's extra stuff for commentators to talk about, extra stuff for fans to talk about. And let's face it, we are in the business of fun and entertainment at the end of the day. Yes, it's a sport, but it's all about fun, right? And it even translates into the in-venue experiences, like we talk about music, right?
Yeah.
Like the curling fan. Here's a story for you. I went to the Briar in 2023 with Johnny Moe. So Johnny Moe and I went down to the Briar, and we were with Donovan Bailey, and this was when I was running points, when I was a PointsBet. And so I'm in a box because Donovan is doing some ambassador stuff with us, and Johnny became a friend, but Johnny was also doing some stuff with us. And I'm in a box, and this is at the Briar. Donovan had never been to a curling game before. And Johnny and Donovan are having this amazing electric conversation where Johnny is kind of teaching Donovan the game, right? 2 of the greatest male athletes in the history of Canada over the last 20 years, whatever. And they're having this great conversation in the middle of the Budweiser Garden in London during the Briar final. And this 65-year-old woman turns around and goes, shh. And I was like, what in the heck is that? Yeah. Sports are supposed to be fun.
This isn't a library.
No, but that's it. So part of our whole mission is we're trying to give fans the permission to have a good time. Like curlers love it. Curlers love the energy. They love it. Like last year in Guelph, one of my favorite things started last year is these 5 curlers from the Allura Curling Club came to the Guelph Slam dressed as bananas. There was a peel shot. So anytime there's a peel, they would stand up and yell, peel, 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 dressed as bananas. Toronto, for the Players' Championship in April, there were about 12 of them that all came from Allura. It was amazing. Thursday night, peel, peel, peel. The curlers are loving it. The crowd is starting to get behind it. It's on broadcast. It was on Sportsnet. Friday morning, a 12-year-old girl named Penny showed up at the arena wearing a banana costume because she wanted to join them.
It's just caught on.
That is fun. Like, why is darts becoming so popular in Europe? It's because it's fun. You know,
Who doesn't want to go to a darts event just to
here's-
be part of that crowd?
I actually went to a curling event in Glasgow a long time ago. And it was taking place right after a darts event had taken place.
Yeah.
And the entire week there was confetti falling from the ceiling that had been like part of the darts thing. So curlers would just be like sweeping and then they're sweeping confetti away. It was ridiculous.
You know,
Yeah.
here's a true story of this is what I heard from somebody who works within the sport. You know why people wear costumes to darts games? It's so their bosses can't
that's
recognize
funny.
them
Actually
for
makes
skipping
sense.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
so
don't want a Ferris Bueller situation.
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
that makes sense.
Although I still don't understand how he was never caught. Like Ferris Bueller not getting caught by his parents is one of the craziest movie twists
It's
ever.
he pulled off the ultimate
He really
heist.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't help when they add in the movie that when you push a car backwards, the odometer goes the other way.
No, but it doesn't. That was the whole point. That's why Cameron
right.
lost his mind.
I forgot.
That's right. Remember,
I
they were
thought
in the
it did in
pool
the
and
end.
they
Yeah,
were,
no, I forgot
They were
about
just
that.
relaxing, and then
I haven't
all of a
seen that
sudden,
movie in so long
I
now.
know.
Dude, so
I
good.
gotta watch that again next weekend.
Sorry for that
been-
random
it's been a
Ferris
long
Bueller
time, yeah.
reference. It's a great movie. John Hughes is a legend.
He really is.
Are you a Ferris Bueller person or a Breakfast Club person?
Ferris Bueller more. I started with Breakfast Club. That was my first John Hughes movie that I really liked. But then I was like addicted to Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yeah.
Pretty great.
I don't know. My first instinct was to say Breakfast Club.
Yeah, no, mine's Breakfast Club. I thought you were more of a Pretty in Pink kind of guy.
Didn't John Hughes write My Girl? I'm pretty sure he did.
He might have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's definitely my
No, but that
favorite.
makes me cry when
I know,
was it Abby Hoffman? Was that Abby Hoffman?
I
the
can't
little kid?
remember her name. But Macaulay's
Yeah, Macaulay, the
character.
girl. That one died.
Thomas
oh,
J.
Spoiler.
Oh, I
alert.
know. Don't remind me.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah, I don't know the girl's name, but she's so good.
From which one?
The girl in My Girl.
Girl.
Was it Abby Hoffman? Was that Abby
I'm just
Hoffman as a
gonna
kid?
Find it.
Let's see. This is the
Girl
showing
and
my
my
age
girl.
and my memory of random John Hughes films.
Why do I not see it on here?
Cast. My Girl cast.
Yeah, this is real compelling.
Yeah.
That's all good.
No, the audience will stick with
Oh,
us.
I
They
know. No,
probably
they're
want us.
Googling it right
It's probably
now.
already in the chat, actually.
That's right. Just ask Siri. Oh, my phone's gonna light
Well,
up now.
I don't know if it's John Hughes though.
No, it might not be John Hughes.
Who else would it
My
be?
Girl was directed by Howard Zieff,
Written by John Hughes.
written by Laurice
Oh.
Elwhiny,
No.
produced by Brian
Why did I
Grazer.
think it was
My
a
Girl.
John-
and
Oh.
who's in the cast? We got Macaulay Culkin.
Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis, Macaulay Culkin, Anna Chlumsky.
Oh, Chomsky,
yeah.
that's
Griffin
right,
Dunne.
not Abby Hoffman.
and then
Anna
she was
Chomsky.
in
Darn.
whatever the other show was that was popular recently.
Yes.
What, you know.
Yeah, Veep or something.
Yeah, Veep.
Yeah. She was on Veep. That's right.
Okay, well, I completely messed that one up because I thought that was John Hughes for so long. But it
Anyway,
was not.
so we got two
No,
for
shit,
Breakfast
the
Club.
writer doesn't even have the Wikipedia
Rude.
page.
I don't know if this is correct. I'm going to go Google it more when I get home. I don't trust it.
My Girl.
Yeah.
How
wow.
could the writer not have a Wikipedia page when that's one of the greatest films of its time?
Oh my goodness, it is so not.
Yes, it is.
What are we talking about
Yes,
here?
it is.
My Girl is one of the
Come
greatest
on.
films of its time.
Do you cry every time you watch it?
Like I've watched it more than once. I'm not. Do I strike you as somebody
I
that's
wouldn't be
watched My Girl
surprised.
multiple times?
Knowing you, anything could happen.
No, I cry during sports movies, especially ones that involve father and son, like the Rookie with Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
The last 40 minutes of that movie, I'm just in shambles, just bawling. I can't handle that movie.
So-
Do you have like was your dad into sports?
Yeah, he used to coach me and stuff like that. I love sports movies. I cry in most sports movies, but especially when there's like that father-son dynamic, I'm toast.
So AI overview from Google says, while it is not a John Hughes film, it is often associated with him because its themes and target audience were similar to his own movies.
Well, look at
So
that.
you're not the only one thinking of that. So clearly there's
little
been
bit
others
better.
that have looked at
A
that one.
little bit better.
So it is not his film though.
Ugh, unbelievable.
World has just changed.
It has changed.
Well, not enough. I mean, the world hasn't changed for the CFL as much as I think it should. How about that for a tangent? Or we can keep talking about curling, or we could drive down this road.
Well,
if
I
you
love
want.
talking curling. I can keep going that way. We can
I
get
do
this
too.
forward.
I do love talking curling.
Well, okay, so what for those that don't know about the co-op Tour Challenge.
Yeah.
What is going on in Nisku for the rest of this week?
Yeah, so today's Friday.
We've
so
talked
today,
a little bit bigger stuff, but what is actually happening?
So every day from 8 a.m., there's 4 draws a day, 8 a.m., 8 a.m., 11:30, 4 o'clock, 7:30, I believe, 7 o'clock, 7:30?
8
Oh,
o'clock.
8. Oh, yeah, it's 8, sorry. There's 4 games going on each draw. Today is the last day of the round robin. And after tonight, the playoffs will be sorted. Tomorrow morning, there'll most likely be tiebreakers. So there'll be a couple games in the morning, and then quarterfinals for the men's and quarterfinals for the women happen tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, and then tomorrow night at 8 o'clock is the semifinals. Best 4 games you'll see all week, and then right after the semifinals is the Grand Slam of Karaoke, where you get to see at least 9 teams compete for the title. Sunday, I don't have my schedule in front of me. Sunday morning is one of the finals, men's or women's, and the other final is in the afternoon. God, I should really have the dates tattooed to me. And then what's really exciting is during each final, the under 15s and the under 25s are going to be able to play their championship on the ice at the same time.
Cool.
So super, super exciting. Yeah, I have my
it just
schedule in
says,
my pocket.
Mine's
Yeah, it
in
just says
my
10
bag
a.m.
over there.
2:30 and it.
Oh, so 10 a.m. So I
And
believe
2:30.
So I believe it is the women's final is 10 a.m. I believe, and then 2:30 will be the men's final. I think that's how it's rolling.
You said it a little earlier, but if people want to go for the limited tickets that might be available, what's the best?
GSOC, if they go to gsoctickets.com, GSOC tickets.com,
Grand Slam of Curling.
there you go. Or they can just show up in Nisku.
And then where can people watch these events then? Because you've talked about that.
Yeah, so you can. One of the exciting things that we did was typically the Grand Slam of Curling. Our events start Tuesday and they run through Sunday. Historically, Rogers Sportsnet, who is our Canadian linear broadcast partner, they would start airing games Thursday afternoon. So Rogers Sportsnet typically airs the last 3 draws of every day, but they will only produce one of those 4 sheets. So basically, it's up to effectively the Rogers Sportsnet crew which games a Canadian audience can watch on linear television. The very first thing that we changed last year, our first slam was the Tour Challenge in Charlottetown last October. But the very first thing that we did after acquiring the slams and raising money is we built our own streaming platform, our own OTT platform. Because what we're doing, excuse me, we're actually producing a stream of every single sheet, every single draw, every single day. We're doing 16 live games every day. 2 of those games per draw, we have our own commentating crews, adding commentary in this graph. It's awesome. So users can go to rockchannel.com, which is our own OTT platform and our own fast channel. If they have Roku or if they have Pluto TV in Canada, they can go and we have Rock Channel on Roku and Pluto TV in Canada, which is pretty exciting. They could watch, but on rockchannel.com, you can watch any game you want, anytime you want. We have the VOD, so like on demand, you can watch old games. We also, for the first time, for our first slam, this is our second slam, Devin Haru is hosting a pre and post game show live from the event, and it's awesome. Like Devin, I mean, a lot of folks around Canada have gone to know Devin because of his incredible Olympic coverage, and he's very prominent on the social medias.
Yep.
But he is an incredible human and an incredible storyteller, and he is so great. And the curlers are all joining him, and a lot of former curlers, like Johnny Moe did his show yesterday. Joanne Courtney, who's just an incredible legend of the game, who does some TSN broadcasting. She's also
filled in so nicely.
She's incredible.
She's been great on the broadcast.
Oh my gosh, she's one of, if not the best current commentator in curling. We've been blessed with some incredible commentators. Brent Lang has been doing commentary for us. Brent Lang, Briar winner. Jennifer Jones is lesser half. John Cullen, who actually just published a book. It just came out last week called Curling Rocks.
I think he's doing an author talk tonight.
Oh, he is doing an author talk somewhere in Edmonton.
Yeah. I don't know where exactly, but it's on his socials if you look him up.
Yeah, Cullen the curler.
Cullen on curling.
Cullen on curling,
Yeah.
and Cullen the Comic or something like that on socials. He does commentary for us. And John, he actually hosted and wrote a podcast series called Broomgate last year, which won like the Academy Award of podcasts. Like, it's incredible. Broomgate is such an awesome podcast. It's like a limited podcast series. It's amazing.
Podcast.
I do remember Broomgate when it happened in curling a number of years ago.
Yeah.
No, it's such a great. Anyway,
Here in
John's
Edmonton
great.
at the time, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so there's a lot of
what's-
content. And I have to thank Devin because he actually had me on his pregame show a couple nights ago, which was really fun. I mean, he's so good at finding all the stories in curling and kind of pulling them out, finding all the threads and putting them together for the audience.
There's no one better besides present company excluded.
Ha,
There's
no,
no
not
one,
quite.
There's no better storytellers in curling. But yeah, rockchannel.com, on all your web platforms and
Yeah,
and that
there's a
kind of
lot
stuff.
of good stuff on there.
Well, and at the end of the day, curling fans forever have had a hard time figuring out where to go to be able to watch curling. Candidly, Canadians have always been able to watch curling.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons why I was excited about buying the Grand Slam of curling from Rogers is Rogers Sportsnet's the biggest sports media company in the country now.
Mm-hmm.
They had owned the Grand Slam of curling for over a decade, but they had never distributed any of the Grand Slam of curling content outside of Canada. So curling, over 250 million people last year engaged with over 10 hours of curling content. That's a global audience, but a global audience that was never able to watch the best curling in the world. That seemed like a travesty to me, but also an opportunity, right? So with Rock Channel, we are now able to deliver curling content to people all over the world so they can actually watch their favorite curlers play. I remember in Charlottetown last year after we launched our platform, it was literally right after the first draw, a couple of the Swiss curlers came up to me and they thanked me because for the first time ever, their friends and their family were able to watch them play in a slam. And I was like, man, that's cool, right? So, not everything that we're trying to do is controversial. We just want to give more people all around the world access to curling. And honestly, like the most important thing that any sports business operator, sports business entity needs to focus on right now, because let's face it, media rights are dropping. The premium sports, now those rights fees are increasing, but everybody else, they're all falling off. The singular most important thing for any new and emerging sports league, including some of the smaller ones like the CEBL and Northern Super League and all these other new sports in Canada, they're popping up. It's all about brand and sponsors, because that revenue is actually the spine of the growth and development of the sports. But in order for sponsors to want to invest money with a league or with a sport, they need to be, there needs to be eyeballs.
Yep.
Right? There needs to be eyeballs. And there needs to be an identity and a brand that brand of the sport that brand wants to attach itself to. And let's face it, this is not meant to be controversial, but there aren't that many brands out there that want to align themselves with people knitting in the crowd of a sporting event. Like I'm sorry, right? Like that's just fact, right? So one of our jobs is to really showcase how compelling these athletes are, how incredible the stories are, and how fun the experience is. So some of these top tier brands that want to engage and amplify their message to the next generation of sports fans and demographics outside of the conventional curling demographics, like, oh, curling. Now, I think I want to attach my brand and I want them to help me get my message out to their audience, right? So we want to expand the audience of curling because ultimately we need to bring more money into the sport, and it's not going to come from broadcast rights fees as much as I wish it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago, but that's just not the case anymore. It's all about trying to create compelling content, create great stories, not just on live sports, but on socials. Because let's face it, ironically, we're sitting here at a 2-hour long form conversation, but the young sports fan, they're watching sports in ways that we never did when we were
mostly
growing
watch
up.
highlights.
Short form, snackable
That's all
content
they
on your
want.
phone,
They
man.
don't
And there's
even
a
watch a
lot.
full game.
Yeah.
I know. I think it's Adam Silver, commissioned the NBA, was saying that recently. Like they just got to find a way to get get those highlights
Yeah.
out more and do that, because that's how a lot of younger people just consume.
Yeah.
things.
Well, I did a story and I interviewed Heidi Browning from the NHL, who's in marketing over there. And we talked at length about this. I mean, it's a big problem for them too. Kids don't go to sporting games, too expensive usually. They also don't have big interest in going to a live sporting event. The reason they don't have a big interest is, one, because they don't watch a full game. Two, because they don't participate, because youth participation in sports is vastly declining. One, because it's too expensive, too competitive, all that. So, the way you become a fan of a sport usually is a lot of its participation. And obviously watching it, which they're not doing. So it's a big problem, and that's a problem for all the major leagues. Yeah.
And that
highlight culture is
it's real. And then let's face it, we have at least one exciting shot at the end of every game. Right? There's 8 dramatic moments that are perfect. They're great, like 15, 20-second clips. Find me an exciting 15-second pickleball clip. Just find one. They don't exist.
Yeah, I've never gotten to pickleball. It sounds weird.
No,
Yeah.
No,
No,
it just sounds weird.
And again,
I love that people playing it. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not a pickleball hater, and I'm not a hater of knitting, for the record. Like, I know I'm going to get
All the knitters are gonna come for you
coming
now.
after me.
Oh.
I actually quite enjoy knitting. Like, I don't mind
Can you
it.
knit? Do you know how to?
I have been taught how to knit,
Wow.
the old cross stitch or
That's-
whatever
that's
it is.
Yes,
really
it is. I've
impressive.
learned that.
Dude.
You both know how to
'Cause
knit?
I know. I don't know how. I know of the cross stitching, because then there's crocheting, which is different.
Yeah,
It is different, but I can't
that's-
do either one. So
Yeah.
I was like, if you guys can, I'm
No, I
impressed.
can't.
Oh.
No, my Jewish grandmothers, who unfortunately aren't with us anymore, they would knit. One of my Jewish grandmothers would, not that it matters that she's a Jewish grandmother, my grandmother, knitted Afghans. So I remember
Nice.
being a kid, just like, I want to do that too, Grandma.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I gamble a little bit more than I knit these days.
But
hey,
you could pull out a cross stitch if you had to.
I think I could.
I would like to see you do
It's like riding a bike. You never forget it.
No, it's true. It's true. It's slightly more complex than building a live 4-leg parlay, right? But
Yeah.
when you're sitting there on the couch and the baseball game's getting a little bit lean in the 6th inning.
Yeah, you
Not
need
that
this would never happen in curling now with the reduced thinking time,
No.
and it's such a fast game now.
Exactly.
But baseball, still, you might need to knit a little bit to keep your mind busy.
not right now though, man. I'm telling you, these Jays have got me hot. See, another segue.
Yeah,
for you.
this is the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage right here in Edmonton Sports Talk. Matt Iwanyk, Jolene Latimer, Nick Sulsky. He's the CEO of the curling group here on EST. Coming up at 11 o'clock, by the way, Lockshot, myself, and Huss will be on the air. We've got Oil Stream, Tommy from Calgary, along with Trev. We've got EST Afternoons, Reed Wilkins Show, all till 6 o'clock right here on EST. By the way, before we get to the Devin Haru, Eric from our morning show, Eric's from Saskatoon, so he knows Devin. They actually, I think, grew up together or something.
Nice.
So they actually kind of know each other.
Eric should come out to one of the
to Saskatoon. We're doing a slam in Saskatoon.
Are you guys?
Second week of December, Saskatoon.
Oh,
It's
go home for Christmas,
Dude.
Watch some curling.
It's going to be exciting.
Eric is such a good ambassador for the sport. Like, he is the exact person who you want to see at a curling event. 'Cause he's so cool. He's got great music taste, excellent style, loves curling. He invited me to a bonspiel. It was really fun. I beat his team, which was very satisfying. But
You're just talking him up, and then I beat him, and it felt good.
it did feel so good.
Well, what's Eric's last name?
Holt.
Eric Holt
But nobody
is
uses his last name.
officially invited to the Grand Slam of Curling in Saskatoon. I will personally deliver his VIP badge to him.
Oh gosh.
There
I
you
hope
go,
he
Get him
goes.
out there.
Eric, please go.
Yeah, right.
We need to get you on camera doing some curling. We need to get him on the pre-game show with Devin.
Well, we should get both of you guys out there. Maybe we'll do a little draw to the button contest,
Yeah.
and the winner will get $100 in Mr. Mike's gift cards. One of our fantastic sponsors.
Wow,
with one of ours.
that's
There you go.
That's legit. That is
I would say I
legit.
probably don't, with the way I curl sometimes, like I most likely one shot, I probably don't get past the hog line.
Really?
Yeah, but
I'm too light. It's the same with putting on golf. I end up always going too light.
We'll give you sweepers.
yeah, you can choose whatever two sweepers you want.
like professional
well,
curlers.
We'll get you Bobby Lammy and Brett Gallant, and
They're gonna just be like, "Who the hell is this guy? We can't even save this one."
that's right.
Okay, so what were the emotions for you? Are you a Jays fan?
No,
Okay.
I'm not a fan of anybody just because working in sports. But if I had to be a fan of somebody, it would be the Dodgers.
Oh.
Yeah, because I covered them
Can
for
I
so
move this
long.
chair over a little bit?
I covered them for quite a few years. I like that team. I covered them in the World Series twice, both losses at home. But I went. It's like this is why I'm not a fan, because my policy is there's always a party somewhere. So if I would have been a fan of them losing when they lost at home, I would have been very sad. But instead, I just went to the winning team's clubhouse. And that was extremely fun. There was champagne everywhere, the whole thing. So I'm an opportunist.
Yeah, you're an opportunist.
Yeah,
like the starting rotation the Dodgers have. I think the starting rotation of the Dodgers is like a $400 million.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Dude, no, that's why baseball needs a salary cap. Sorry.
It's
where we're going. It looks like in 27.
I think that if the Brewers come back, if the Brewers get to they're not going to. But if the Brewers, I think because the Dodgers are going to be the Brewers, the salary cap conversation is going to be real. If the Brewers had won, then the owners would be able to say, well, look, we don't need a look, there doesn't, the players would be, look, there doesn't need to be salary cap because look, the Brewers did it. But
if the Dodgers go in 2 straight,
that's right.
Changes a lot, and they'll be competitive again next year, and we'll see what they do. But they also need a salary floor.
That I agree with 100%.
A lot of teams to be like, no, you want to Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Tampa, like you need Oakland, not Oakland, Sacramento, the A's, Vegas soon. Spend. You make money, spend some damn money on baseball players.
Completely agree.
That's one thing that they need. But okay, so where were you? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say the one thing I do really want to see, even though I love watching baseball, I would love to see a Scherzer, Kershaw. I would love to see them face off in the World Series.
That would be interesting.
I would love, when the Jays are in the World Series, I would love the Dodgers to pitch Clayton Kershaw because we would hit the crap.
He's not he doesn't have a good playoff.
He doesn't have a good playoff record.
It's incredible to think.
Yeah.
Well, so Scherzer.
Yeah.
I will say this: the storyline though that fascinates me kind of though is the Ohtani versus the Jays.
It's incredible.
And I've said it. I think I was saying it last week. Like it's one. I wish that now that there's another reason I wish this would have happened. But if the Yanks had beat the Dodgers last year, it could have been Ohtani still going for that ring against the Jays. Chose LA. Like that storyline could have really been nice. But now it's still Ohtani.
It was only a made up storyline. He was never going to choose the Jays.
I know.
Canadians are the only ones who thought that was going to happen.
Okay, but he was talking to the Jays. They were using the Jays. That wasn't made up.
He was talking to everybody.
So
he always said he wanted to be on the West Coast team.
But that's why that storyline would have been fascinating to me of the revenge of, okay, even if he used Toronto chasing the ring, Toronto could take the ring away from him, but he has one ring. But it's still that storyline. But emotions from down 2-0 to now. Were you down on this team? Were you at a point, because I know this was done. Did you think this series was done, or did you still believe?
No, I mean, I was lucky enough to, I was at game 1 of the Yankee series. That was unbelievable. What a fun experience. And I was at game 1 of the
ALCS?
Of the ALCS. And, when Springer hit that leadoff home run, oh my goodness, Skydome was incredible in there. And then when we lost, it sucked, right? Game three was to me the most, obviously they had to win game 3. The common phrase is, it's never a series until you lose on your home, you lose on your home field, or you have to win a road game, right? So I think that the Jays, the reality is the Jays hitters they got complacent in game 1, game 2. There was a lot of pressure. The fact that they weren't able to bomb Bryce Miller was a bit of a surprise because he's quite literally, in my opinion, the worst Mariners arm in the starting rotation. And he's pitching tonight, so I'm hopefully not jinxing them. Sorry. No, I mean, sports. It's that's what I think. That's what we all love about sports. It's totally unpredictable, right? Now, being down 3-0 like the Brewers are, like you're laughing it off. Like when you're down 3-0, it's
happened. I think in baseball it is the once. I think it's still only the once
for sure. But being down 2-0. No, I think that after seeing this team wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And the way that they were hitting in the ALCS, it gave you a lot of hope. They just had to heat back up again. And and the fact that the bottom of the order has come through the way that they came through, especially in game 3. I mean, they did it again last night, but the fact that Jimenez, who started off the season hitting cleanup, right? And he started off the season, he had whatever 6 home runs in the first, couple weeks, and everyone was like, and then he had no power for the rest of the season. The fact that he lit up game 3 and then again in game 4, it was such a great confidence boost. So the feeling today is excitement. Now it's going to depend on what happens, 6 hours from now, right? Because that's the great thing about sports, the emotional swings. I mean, that's
exactly why I don't like to be a fan. I can't handle
Come on,
emotional
that's the
swings.
beauty of sports.
That's why
The
I'm a
action
reporter. That's why I'm a
It
reporter.
can be. It can suck too, though. Like it's the worst at times. Like when your team loses, it's just the worst
I know.
feeling.
No,
That's why I remember.
But it's those lows that make the highs
No.
so much more
No, but it's
enjoyable.
the emotion, like that's being
I don't want
human,
the
right?
emotion. God, I have too much.
But it's like when you get to the top of that mountain, it's everything that you dealt with to get there. It just feels that much
I have
nicer.
enough of that in my own life. I don't need to see it reflected back to me in sports.
No,
I remember like watching the Dodgers lose at home, for example. I remember going down to the clubhouse and being like, I am so happy I'm not a fan right now. If I was a fan, I would be so depressed. But because I'm not a fan, I'm okay.
But that's the thing, like being depressed that your sports team isn't winning. Like, listen, I've had cancer for 16 years. That's something you can be depressed about, right? Being, people that get I grew up in Los Angeles. I'm a diehard Raiders fan. It has sucked for over 2 decades, right? But I still root for them because there's potential, a moment of just sheer exhilaration. Now, do I get so depressed? No. And losing a big game is depressing. It's
hard to handle.
But then every once in a while, you get a Kawhi Leonard shot in at the buzzer. And the emotion, sports fans, especially people that love the Raptors, will never forget where they were at that moment. People will never forget where they were when Joe Carter hit that homer off Mitch Williams. I remember exactly where I was. I remember that moment like it was yesterday, right? That's what I love about sports, right? And now, I'm going to Halifax to see the Olympic trials, not to bring it back to curling, but I'm going to Halifax to see the Canadian Olympic trials. From what I've heard within the sport, the Olympics are great. The Olympics are exciting. Slams are exciting. Briars are exciting. But from what I've heard in curling, there is nothing like the Canadian Olympic trials. I am so excited to be standing in that arena or sitting, I don't know, whatever, watching the men's team and the women's team with that final shot. If it's dramatic, even better, win. Because that's like it's being part of the collective energy, which is what I think is at the kind of spine of being a sports fan.
It's so interesting, your perspective, because I love everything that you're saying. I love it. I just like not feeling it.
I am an emotional fella, but
I like being outside of it and observing it. That's how I prefer to consume it.
But he's like, I'm not even a Raptors fan, but that Kawhi Leonard shot was unbelievable. I hate just Philly generally in general. So it was like, this was great. But that moment was at my parents' place. My brother was there, who's a big Raptors fan and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it happened, I believe, there. So, and it was just like, that's also like the dreams type thing, those type of shots. And seeing it, it's what sports is about.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like the Alphonso Davies, there was a goal, World Cup qualifying in Toronto against Panama. He had the goal. And it was just, I was at my house and I lost it because it's like, who does that? Like, how did this happen? That's sports.
I like
right.
being there for those moments and witnessing them with my own eyes, and then being able to kind of like tell people about it, whether that's through a story or whatever it is. Like that's why
fair.
I love my job, because I like being there for those historic moments. I feel like almost being outside of it a little bit like makes it easier to tell the story in ways.
That's probably true because it's not you're not biased by the emotion that you're feeling in that moment. I completely like that you have. It's like a superpower of yours. Like you love sports and you work in sports, but you don't let the emotions get the better of you. Like that, I appreciate that.
Because my job is to talk about your emotions that you had when you were there, right? Not
right.
really my own. Mm-hmm. So like, you have to be like kind of in it and feeling it, but then
What about when it's Canada though? Like McDavid scores at Four Nations.
This is the other weird
You're
thing.
Canadian.
This is the weird thing about my career, because I worked in the States and because like for the Olympics, I work for NBC, which is American. I like at the Olympics, like I can't cheer for Canada.
No, but the Four Nations this past year.
That one didn't really hit me because it was such a like Like it meant nothing, even though I know it meant so much to the players. And I was really thrilled to see like how much it meant. Like that shot of Sidney Crosby, like just like you could tell he's like so into it. Like I love that shot of him. But as a fan, you could say like it didn't have any meaning to me because I'm like, oh. I'm glad it was a good event for the NHL.
It's like one of the last hockey games I was like fully into.
No, people got so I'm like,
great.
it's 4 nations. This means nothing. It would mean more if it was.
Yeah,
like,
but it's Canada US. I don't need anything else. Give me Canada US. It matters. We need to
I'm
win.
glad so
and
many
McDavid
fans
got his
loved it.
goal for that one.
I mean, it was great to see how high the vibes were. That was awesome.
Just quick, I was looking at the baseball game for tonight, or 4:08, so it's
it's an earlier start.
early one. Game 3, Jays were like plus 158 on the money line or something right now. With Play Alberta, they are the favorite minus 114. The Mariners minus 103 though, so it's like close to just pick 'em territory.
But for today or for the series?
For today.
I think the series though. Look at the odds for the series. I think it's look. You'll appreciate this. I looked at it this morning.
Minus 111 on Play Alberta. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's full pick 'em.
Oh wow, it's minus 111, minus 111. We play Alberta.
Alberta's minus 111, minus 111.
You got to work with your odds a little bit.
No, they're straight up minus 111, minus 111.
All right, let's.
Dodgers are minus 195 to win the World Series.
Really?
Mariners are plus 365 to win the World Series. Jays are plus 385 to win the World Series. Maybe we should, like, with our partnership with Alberta, maybe I should get the Jays one boosted. Them to win the World Series at like plus, I'd probably get that plus 4 something.
Yeah.
Wonder if anyone wants that. If you want that, jump into the nasty chat. Let me know. It's a fascinating game because, like, to me, baseball is about series.
Yep.
And to me, the Mariners' worst case, which now they're kind of, or no, what they needed, worst case is losing in 4 straight here now. But you had a 3-game series, you had a 2-game series. You can look at it for the Mariners. In baseball, you just then need to, if you take 1 of 3, 1 of 2, you move on to the World Series. Well, now you're down to that last game here, and you can't blow 3 at home.
So
you blew 2 at home. The Jays blew 2 at home. You took this advantage. You can't blow 3 at home, but they might.
So here's the question for you. I don't want this to happen, obviously. Jays lose tonight, right? So they're down 3-2, going back to Toronto. Can you pitch Trey Savage in an elimination game in the ALCS?
Yes.
So yes, you can.
Yeah, no, yes, you do.
Yeah, but more because you can't put Bieber on short rest. I don't think.
No,
and Bassett is not the answer.
But this is where then what's the confidence that fans have of John Schneider of knowing
when to pull him and when to keep him,
when to start that bullpen going, because it's one you do have to be ready to go maybe a little early because a young kid, it could go on you quick, but also gotta let him feel it a little bit.
Yeah, but I love the fact.
And that's that balancing act that you have to do as manager. And that's where I like the gut manager. Like I have no problem with analytics, but I like the gut manager a little more than the analytic manager. Like sometimes it's just that feeling of the game and you need to see it. And there's no numbers that's going to quantify of, no, he's still got this.
I don't know. Game 1, Gosman's at 75, 76 pitches. And he's, he had given up a couple runs, but he was pitching good. In game 1, I wouldn't have pulled Gosman in game 1.
That's where you need the gut, right?
Yeah.
And that's analytics sometimes jumps in. It's like, I want that gut manager who'll sit there and go, I know you're telling me that the numbers say probably should pull him. I get that. But you know something? I don't feel that right now.
I think Schneider has earned, I think, a lot of love and a lot of trust and respect from sports fans. And I think there's people, I'll speak personally. I think I've really embraced his personality over the last 2 or 3 months, not to mention that amazing little speech he gave at during the celebration getting, after they won the divisional. But even just his reaction to the Scherzer moment last night when he went out to the mound and Scherzer was like, no.
Yeah.
And Schneider in the post game was like, I've been waiting for that, Max. I wanted and regardless of whether that's true or not, that's the message to put out there, right? Like everybody, seeing Mad Max last night really come alive was I personally didn't think it was going to happen. I wasn't a big believer that he was going to be able to turn it on after watching how he was pitching towards the end of the season. But oh my God, that moment. I mean, let's face it, that's going to be one of the most memorable moments that the Jays, that regardless of what happens from here on out, whether they win the World Series or not, that moment is still going to be remembered and talked about because But that's the character of sport,
Yeah,
right?
that was
that's
incredible.
That's what we live for.
And to have a manager who was like, okay, all right. And like that never happens, you know?
Well, that could be, you know, in one way, that could be Max Scherzer's last game ever played in baseball.
Yeah.
You know, like if the Jays happen to, and again, knock on wood for you guys.
Not me, I'm not part of this.
Well, in general, listeners too, if the Jays lose the next two, let's say that Scherzer's not pitching in any of those, and 41-year-old, he might not come back. And that's one of his last moments was like, no, I'm staying in this game.
What a moment.
Right.
To
and
go
that's,
out on. Yeah.
I apologize for the self-serving tangent back to curling.
No,
but talking about,
if you want to take things back to curling, you're not getting any arguments from over here.
Talking about Max Scherzer being the last, that might have been tonight at 8:00 in Nisku at the Silent Ice Center. It's going to be Brad Gushue's last competitive curling game in Alberta. Maybe arguably the greatest curler, the greatest male curler in Canadian history. I mean, Kevin Martin, there's debate about Kevin or Brad, but regardless,
I will always throw Kevin up there.
Yeah.
But that's Alberta, baby.
Hometown boy.
No, and that's fair. That's fair. But Brad Gushue's won, I think he's the most successful Brier skip ever.
Yeah.
It's his last game.
Well,
it's tonight.
He's not doing well in this event. So
that's right. It might not be because he could still qualify for the tiebreakers for the playoffs, but it might be his last game in Alberta.
Yeah,
tonight.
which is, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a big crowd for that. But an interesting part of that story is that while it might be his last game in Alberta, simultaneously his daughter Marissa is playing in the junior event. His 14-year-old daughter, which I think their first game is today.
At 4:00 today. But you know what's even cooler about that? Brad Gushue's daughter Marissa is playing in the under 15s. With two twin boys from San Francisco, the Hellman boys, and John Schuster's son, John Schuster, gold medalist John Schuster. So you have two Olympic gold medalists.
USA. For curling.
You have an American
John
Schuster.
Yeah.
So you have Schusties, you have John Schuster's son, Luke, and you have Brad's daughter, Marissa, Olympic rivals, gold medalists playing together with a couple Americans. Right? In the under 15 today, 4:00 at the Beaumont Curling Club. And I, along with John Morris, will be there watching that incredible under 15 game and the Blue Jays at the same time because the Blue Jays will be on the TV in the curling club. So we'll be multi-screening, but like multi-screening, not like the millennials. Like we'll be actually like in the real world multi-screening.
Yeah, you can watch both.
Well, by the way, is what's
It's
so
the
great
brilliance.
about Silent Ice Center because you have that restaurant upstairs. You can watch any game you want up there. There's hockey on one side, curling on the other. It's amazing.
Yeah, we were watching, a lot of us were watching the Jays game and the curling at the same time last
That's
night.
what the younger generation doesn't have it like us. We're like, we can watch multiple things at once, but we watch the whole thing, but we can watch it on multiple devices. Or
we do it the right way.
They don't know what the pain was when it was just one screen and you had to click previous. Flipping between the two channels back and forth.
Save your one
and trying
channel.
to go back and forth, but see everything.
And it's like, I wish there was a way you could have 3 channels in the previous cycle, you know, but there's only 1 or 2 that you can flip between.
TELUS was the great innovation for us out here. There's like 5 previously you could go to, but back in the day when you only had the one previous button.
I know.
And you just keep clicking it back and forth to flip between 2 things at once.
I love the old PIP, the old picture-in-picture.
Yeah.
Right? The old,
When you could get that on a TV, if it ever worked, you're like,
that was pretty
Figure
good.
out how to make it work. Because of course there's no manual. You can't Google it. So you have to play around with your remote control to try to figure out how to get that. Yeah.
Manuals. It's like phone books.
Yeah. Who reads a manual these days?
Exactly.
I
Printing
actually
out
do.
Do you?
Yes.
For certain things,
You're
I will
such
like
a
a good look to
nerd.
go. Well, I don't want to ruin certain things.
Oh my gosh.
Technology, I'll just go in. But other things, like I want to make sure I'm doing it right. I don't, because that's where you're going to miss a step and something's going to break.
I don't
Oh,
mess with
YouTube
that.
videos, man. Like I just watch YouTube videos.
ChatGPT. I take a picture of whatever I'm assembling. I ask it where I'm going wrong. It tells me, and then I keep.
I don't need the machine to tell me how to think. I will
do.
think myself.
I do. I can't.
I
think
bought
anymore.
a chainsaw for the first time this summer.
Wow.
Because I
It's
have
an adult purchase.
It was, and
You seem very proud for that.
no, I'm very proud of myself. My wife, my family was very proud of me. I'm not a very handy person. I've never been a handy person.
You can always become one. It's never too late.
Well, no, and we had ice storm damage north of Toronto at we have a cottage, and I had to go get a chainsaw. And I've never used a chainsaw before. YouTube videos, man.
See, I'd rather the YouTube than ChatGPT because ChatGPT might tell you something like that basically going to cut your arm off.
It helps me so much. With
You know,
all
you
of
never
my-
know.
It's very true.
That's the start of the revolution.
Oh,
that's
no, it's
the
very
start
true.
of them taking over. How do I use my chainsaw?
That's
oh
right.
yeah, start it, bring it close to your wrist, and then drop down quickly.
They are going.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Yeah. Oops.
I
That's
will
right, the
trust
the
it
proof
with
of
my life. I
that-
will trust it.
The proof of sentient AI is that they are going to start eliminating humans one chainsaw accident at a time.
Whatever it is, how do I use this air fryer? Somehow it's going to like set up so that it's going to like start a fire and burn your house down because you're
No,
trusting
it's my
AI.
friend. It
You're
would never do
trusting
that
the
to me.
computer, and this is how it all starts. This is the revolution.
We have a good relationship. It's my bestie.
At least YouTube, you could watch people doing it.
Yeah, but now
I don't know if
I
that
love
really is.
ChatGPT because now I just make pictures of my dog doing like cool things. Like I have my dog as a guitar. Like my favorite band is Tool, and so like
I've always wanted to see them.
dude, best live band. I mean,
I've heard.
sorry, Queens of the Stone Age. I think,
like Queens.
Yeah, I saw them in Toronto 2 weeks ago. They have a new tour. It's incredible.
Nine Inch Nails is one of my favorite in-person
but
shows. ever.
Tool in person because Justin Chancellor and Danny Carey, I think, is the best drummer of all time. Sorry, Neil Peart lovers out there. Danny Carey is an absolute beast, and Justin Chancellor is an incredible bass player. Adam Jones, guitar player, whatever, and of course Maynard. But Tool live, it's like, you know, I grew up in like the jam band land, you know, Fish and The Dead, and yeah, so I've been known to smoke a lot of weed. But what's cool about Tool is they're like the jam band of just of progressive music, right? They're not a heavy metal band. They are an incredible music band. And I know Tool's an acquired taste, but go see them live. They're incredible.
And they always come through town, and I never just happen to say
just
that.
do it.
Which
Just
is
do it.
great, though, because now we can transition another segue. This is CFL now.
Oh, look at that.
MGK.
MGK.
Right. Big
I didn't know
Machine Gun
I
Kelly.
honestly didn't know he switched. He wasn't Machine Gun Kelly anymore. I knew it was MGK.
Yep, MGK.
I
mean, that's
actually am
huge.
surprised by the. I
That's
thought there'd be
huge.
more hate on the CFL for this one, just because like.
It just got announced, and people are
I think there's
embracing
been
it.
a lot of people going like, "Yuck," you know, this is maybe not my thing, but this makes sense. You know, this is reaching younger people.
I'm very biased. My daughter, who's 17 years old, is obsessed with MGK, and because of that, I have listened to MGK probably as much as any other musician out there because we drive together and spend time together and all that. I've seen MGK 3 times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 3 times. And he puts on a great show.
Oh, yeah?
He's an incredible musician. He's a great performer. Yeah, no, I think it's, I know my daughter's now going to want to go to Winnipeg to see the Grey Cup. But, you know.
Which is kind of the point, I guess.
It is.
Well, the point of halftime shows generally, like, there's always, it's even Super Bowl, all of those. There's always well, I don't like this, but it's like, well, you're back to curling, the traditional people, you're still going to watch. Well, if you're a diehard football fan, you're still watching the Super Bowl. You're still watching the Grey Cup. This isn't for you.
Yep.
The halftime show is how do we get someone else to tune into this broadcast that maybe isn't fully always going to be tuning into this.
Right.
It's true.
MGK does that.
Yeah. But
And then how do you get a conversation talked about it after? And so MGK is going to be talked about. Like Green Day had a great show a couple of years ago that everyone talked about. Who was halftime last year?
Was it the Arkells? Was that last year?
No.
No, well, Arkells was in Hamilton. They put on a great halftime show. Oh, I don't
It was
remember.
out in BC. Oh, Jonas Brothers.
Oh, yeah,
really?
you're right.
Jonas Brothers came out.
right.
But so like MGK was like, oh, that's a solid get for the CFL.
And his music, like what's interesting about MGK is he started off as a rapper, right? He started off, and there was like there was a major like diss track back and forth between him and Eminem.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was actually like. And MGK actually won the battle. But anyway.
Oh, you say he won it?
I think
because
he
I've
won.
heard the opposite,
No.
and that's why he doesn't do hip hop anymore, and he's kind of switched to more like poppy and things
No,
like
he
that.
got-
It's
but-
because Eminem owned him.
No, I actually think Rap Devil is a really I think he got Eminem. But regardless, no, I think MGK transitioned out of hip hop because it's a bigger audience,
Yeah.
right? Because now he has his hardcore fans who loved him in his earlier stuff. But now he's broadened his audience, and his new album, Lost Americana. Yes, I know the name of the album. It has so many different music genres. It's actually a little bit more poppy than I like. I like mainstream. My daughter's going to be very, very happy that I'm actually name checking the names of his albums: Mainstream, Sellout, and Tickets to My Downfall. They're a little bit more kind of pop, like punk rock. Like I like
That's
that
kind of
vibe.
where I think of him on is on that
Yeah,
side.
like Travis Barker drummed for him for a while. Like they're close. But this new album is a little bit more poppy, but I think it's becoming a little bit more kind of mainstream. Ironic because that was the name of one of his other albums. But no, I think he'll bring in a lot of people to the halftime show. And to your point, the reason why they do that is now there's going to be, like, my daughter is going to watch the Grey Cup just so she doesn't miss the halftime show. And if 3-down football is exciting for
Which
her,
is the best football.
is exciting for if 2nd and 9 and like whatever, man.
2nd and 3.
Yeah, the yard
that.
break. Anyway, let's. If the last 10 minutes of the first half are exciting for my daughter, maybe she will become a CFL fan after she watches MGK. That's the whole
But
goal.
yeah, like
right?
at the very
That's
least,
point.
okay, well, when's the halftime? Okay, it's going to be about this time. Okay, well, I got to watch the end of the second quarter at the
100%.
very least because I don't want to miss the start of that. So,
Exactly.
that was a fun play. Maybe I'll keep it on after this and watch a little bit more. And
Yep.
But even if they turn away after that, well, for the TV numbers for the CFL, you got to say as well, our TV numbers went up. It's a one viewer for us, which to sponsorships for next year, hey, we had this many million viewers watch our broadcast.
Right.
This is how much our advertising is. Give us money type thing. It's business wise. It makes a lot of sense.
No.
Whereas if you do what the CFL used to always do, which is things like Trooper's always around or something, well, it's just like, okay, well, hey, I love Trooper, but
Dude,
we've seen it.
Yeah.
Trooper, come on. Bring
We've
Kim
seen it.
Mitchell back. I think we need some patio lanterns for the halftime show.
That's where it's just like it's go to the street corner of Winnipeg and you'll see one of those acts playing because it's like a Grey Cups aren't Grey Cup without Trooper or something, but maybe not the halftime show. Not the halftime
Fair. They
show.
could be at the after party. No.
Yeah, sure. Come on to the after
really
party.
hate
Is
them.
there an after party? I don't know.
There's always an after party, Matt.
But the Grey Cup's always pre-parties.
The
The Grey Cup's loaded with the festivals. Well, I know because you get pretty. Well, a lot of people leave Grey Cup Sunday.
Well,
there's a lot
all
of
the
people that come
important
out to
people
Grey
are
Cup.
Still going to be around.
Well, there's a lot that come to Grey Cup to party and then they fly back home on the Sunday because to them Grey Cup's over.
Yeah, that's like the Super Bowl too. Like the Super Bowl, it's all about like all the big parties 3 days before. I feel like half the people who fly in for the Super Bowl don't watch the game. It's based on my. Have you
ever been to a Grey Cup festival?
No, I don't
I'd
think so.
recommend. It's like Canada's largest kitchen party.
Dude, it's so fun. I've been to 2 Grey Cups. I went to one. Actually, I came to the Grey Cup in Edmonton.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, I came to the Grey Cup in Edmonton whenever, what was it?
Last
6
one was
years
18.
ago?
18.
18. My daughter, so the CFL, they like the NFL does their Play 60. The CFL has a flag football championship. My daughter was the quarterback for where she played on the boys team from Toronto that
Was that
won.
3 downs?
No, they played 4 downs.
Damn.
Yeah, it was 4 downs, man. And so she was on the team that won Toronto. They flew us to the Grey Cup. Like I'd never been flown with anyway. So I was at the kids played their games, and then we got to experience the Grey Cup. I also went to the Grey Cup in Regina 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That was so fun. That one, because I was at the first Grey Cup with my daughter, I didn't get to really experience like the party fun. But oh my goodness, like thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Each team has their own little parties, and you have like CFL legends coming in and this and that, and the game itself, it was cold as hell because it was Regina in November, but and the Argos actually won the Grey Cup that night, I believe. I believe the Argos won that game. Yeah, the Argos did win that game. And it was such a great time. I don't remember an after party though.
No.
I went to the
Well, 'cause
casino.
you're all
I went to the
cold and
casino after. That was fun.
I've been to that casino. I was told a couple times that there was a buffet there, and I went in and there was no buffet. I was very upset. My son Ryan and I were upset.
The buffet
that
was
there.
probably at the after party that you couldn't find.
Well, it wasn't a Grey Cup. I wasn't there for that.
okay,
I was there
never
for a
mind then.
Rider game
Oh,
and was
all
told
right.
that there's going to be
No
a buffet there. There
buffet.
wasn't a buffet. I'm
Oh,
very
that's
upset.
not-
It's okay.
That's a
There's no
nasty trick.
buffets in the Regina Casino, but they have blackjack dealers that pay out on 22 occasionally. True story. That was a fun night. That was a good time.
Did you leave quickly the table there, or did you stay at the
No,
table?
we stayed until they changed the dealer, and I was sitting with a couple CFL folks, and it was we were all like looking at each other, and we're just like, shut up, just don't, and we just
Don't look.
we
Don't
just
keep going.
nod and smile, double. It's good. And yeah, so anyway, that was Regina Casino Stories.
But yeah, get to a Grey Cup festival sometime.
Yeah,
it's
I
just
will
great
try to
parties.
go. I will.
It's
Yeah.
just
Next
the
time the
Spirit of
opportunity-
Edmonton, Jerry Haraxi. Actually, he's going to be on in a couple of weeks here on the Hangout to talk. But they were kind of like the first one to do it. The Edmonton room was a big one. Now all the teams have followed, and it's just a fun time. And yeah, it's just Canada's largest kitchen party.
Next time I get an opportunity, I will.
Calgary
seize it.
next year.
Okay.
That's close.
All right.
Maybe
you
Edmonton the year after.
Going to do like a EST bus down to Calgary. You guys like to do that?
We did that for Labor Day. I don't think we would do that for Grey Cup.
Oh.
Because
Not enough
that was a
people
day
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah.
You want to go to Calgary and then stay in Calgary.
Yeah. Like I want you guys to plan like
there.
a ski trip kind
So-
of thing, but for the Grey Cup.
Well, I'll be going. I think we'll take EST.
Yeah. Well,
But
then,
just we'll have to set up. We'll just set up team party. You could get everyone can get their own way to Calgary.
can I? Okay, fine.
It's
I can.
pretty
I
easy.
can.
Can you?
I
How
can
far of a
drive
drive to Winnipeg is it from here? Is it? You don't
Way
drive?
too far. Way too
Winnipeg's
far.
about when I was looking about 16 hours maybe.
60. Wow, yeah. I forgot how
drive or
big this
something.
country is.
Yeah.
Calgary would
It's
be
easier to
like-
fly, but flights are and the Monday for some like well I know why, but Monday's just super expensive to come back.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to
really?
come back on Tuesday. It's just way cheaper. It's like $1,000 to come back on the Monday.
Wow.
Just that one
way.
flight.
Wow.
brutal.
Yeah.
You could go to Europe for that.
Yeah.
That's the problem with trying to get anywhere across the country.
Yeah, our airlines are
You
expensive.
can come.
Yeah.
You can go. You can get to Lake Tahoe November 4th for that.
Yeah.
The first ever Grand Slam of curling event in the United States.
that's
Jared
incredible.
Allen, John Morris, Wayne Madaw.
Wayne McDowell. That's almost the selling point.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I was
I've
supposed to
seen
say
That's
that.
John
the
Morris
kicker.
before.
Yeah.
Love him. I've watched him curl though. Jared Allen, I remember him as an NFLer. I played with him in Madden. But it's Wayne McDowell that is like, yeah, that's cool. He's
I
back.
think I totally made a mistake. I don't think I probably should
Oh
have said
no!
that. That's
But
okay. That's all right. It was going to get out eventually. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you can make the mistake and tell us who the streaming service provider, your provider, is going to be.
Not streaming. Linear,
Or linear,
baby.
I mean, yeah, who's going to be then?
Yeah, we'll find out soon. Actually, it's funny. I got the paperwork on my phone as we were sitting
Oh,
here.
nice.
wow, that's
True
You
story.
got to give sign it still.
Well, I have to read it.
Oh, that's a good
You
point.
got to read contracts.
Are you gonna
And
give
I'm
that
not
to
just saying
put
that
it in
because of-
ChatGPT. Just put
Are
it
you
in
going to
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT that one, or are you actually going to read that?
Okay,
one?
so
What I do.
So
You do not give ChatGPT your
I
contract.
have
no,
done
no,
that
no, no.
before.
It is so good. No, true.
You
it-
can't trust ChatGPT.
No, you can't. But
You can ask it what's missing in
Yeah,
here.
that's right. You
Save me
ChatGPT.
$250 on
That's
a
right.
lawyer.
No, but you still need to consult a lawyer.
Nah,
I'm not just
forget
saying
it.
that because I'm Jewish. Like ChatGPT is a great way to just to get up to speed on the elements within a contract that are good and bad. Right.
Right.
I-
And then when you go to your
it's
lawyer,
going to tell
you
you
can-
something. Oh, this part is all fine, but really it's not, and you're signing away your soul.
no, we're not talking about the
ChatGPT
we're
is
not-
going to ruin things.
That's right. It's going to eliminate humans one chainsaw accident
one
at a time.
chainsaw
and it's going to ruin
sign-
businesses one.
Well, it's going to sign you. You're going to sign rights away one person at a time.
I have to say this about it. I did put like a contract into there, and it found a loophole that saved me like thousands of dollars on this contract. That
That you think it saves you.
no, I would have forfeited thousands of dollars if not for seeing this loophole that ChatGPT found for me. I will tell you more later, but
You
it's
just
too much
start
to say
making
on the air.
pictures of your. Do you have a dog?
No.
No. Do you have an animal of any kind?
And I'm not giving up my picture.
What?
You have your conspiracy of the WAS or whatever it is.
Waze, yeah,
Waze. I have my conspiracy chapter. I'm not giving them my photo.
No.
It already has it.
I
has
know. I'm
everything
not
that's on the
willingly
internet.
giving it my photo though. Not willingly giving it to it. Reed Wilkins, one of our afternoon hosts, he's made ChatGPT think I'm a legendary boxer.
Nice.
He keeps asking it to build me a boxing schedule, and at one point, it like he created one of me taking on local media members, and they
that's
all
really
had their
funny.
affiliation. But then I was just local like boxing champion.
That's really funny. But that probably only exists in his
It's on his
thing. Yeah. It's not like made it into the big memory.
No. If you guys Googled who's Matt Iwanyk, it's not going to say
But
world
I'm going to
heavyweight
start
boxing champ of the
feeding your
world.
photo into the big memory now. I'm going to tell it to save it and remember it and learn from it. Then
But if you wanted the interweb to say something about you, would it be that you were a champion boxer? Like, what would be the thing?
Oh, that's a great question.
yeah.
Not bad, right?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that one longer. World boxing's not a bad one. Like at least I want heavyweight there too. Because like, look at me, I'm not that.
But it would be
I
better
wouldn't
if you could fight in the heavyweight division at your weight
And be a champion.
and still be a champion.
And that would be such a story.
I'd be I just bring the weight up for the fight, and then I just lose it all right away. Wow, that loading up for that month or whatever it'd be,
so
be
fun. It would
glorious.
be so fun.
That would be fun.
Just
I haven't
whatever.
I haven't eaten pasta or pizza in a very long time because of the cancer that I have. Whatever, I take my diet very carefully. Whew, that would be so fun.
Just loading up and just like, yeah, give me it all.
Oof.
Give me it all.
So what would be the first if you could just eat whatever you wanted? What's your number one? Because this is how we're going to build what you're going to become in the interweb. You're going to become like.
Well, that's almost like well, I'm not going to go that way. I'm not going to say that one.
Wow.
We got to manifest this the way I manifested Nick being here and curling, on
Just
your
through
show.
that.
Yeah.
So if I just slowly start talking about me being a heavyweight boxer,
Just put
and
that out
eating,
there.
one day I might actually become a heavyweight boxer in this world.
Perception is reality.
Do you watch boxing?
I actually do enjoy boxing.
Do you?
I've never enjoyed UFC. It's the kicking. It creeps me out. Like I get unnerved by that one. Like because I just know like that leg breaking or whatever. It just that one's not for me.
Seeing a shin shatter
Yeah.
like Anderson Silva, I think years ago. Ooh, that
There's
was
just something
nasty.
about, and I don't mind like. I will see gruesome sports injuries. I've seen the Joe Theismann and stuff. Like I've gone and watched those, but I don't know. There's just something about UFC I've never gone behind. But I do love a good boxing.
What do you think about Jake? Where do you land on Jake Paul as a boxer?
Well, he's not a boxer.
You don't think he's a boxer?
He's not a pro yet.
Dude.
He hasn't been any real pros.
It's fair.
That's my issue.
Yeah.
And and he's in it for the spectacles, and I hate myself that I want to watch the Mike Tyson fight. Ryan and I went to go watch.
You went live.
No. Like we
you
went out. We went out. We watched
You
it.
left your
be-
couch. Ooh, the risks we take.
But it's one of those that I miss. That's where I was born in a wrong generation for a bit. I wish I was in the Ali era where like fight night, everyone knew like, what are we doing this weekend? Oh, it's fight night where we're watching the fight. And you know what the fight is and it's a big deal. Everyone stops because of the big boxing fight.
Dude, I grew up
And
in
that
like the
doesn't happen anymore.
Hagler, Hearns,
Yeah.
Sugar Ray, like because I'm old. Oh man, like I remember, like I'm not a big boxing fan. I like UFC. It's fine. Boxing, I can appreciate it, but I've lost my zeal of it. But I respect it completely and totally. But man, those fights back then, they feel different than they are today. I don't know if they are or not. I don't know.
No, they occasionally, like there was a big fight a couple of weeks
Yeah,
ago.
Canelo or whatever.
Yeah.
Crawford, Canelo. Yeah.
But it's like also like 2 days before, it was like, oh, that fight's this weekend. What?
Yeah.
Whereas before, it's the lead up. It's
Yeah.
you know about it months ahead of time. You're marking it on your calendar, and like Usyk right now is just a beast out there, but most people don't even know who Usyk is. That's the problem with boxing. So we only got like 2 minutes left, if that,
We're getting
here
to the
on the
end.
Hangout.
Wow.
Wow.
It's been a fun hangout. Thank you very much for coming in all the way from Nisku.
GSocktickets.com.
GSocktickets.com. So co-op tour challenge, Grand Slam tour event here in Edmonton, Nisku. Well, in the Edmonton area, Nisku, Silent Ice Center. Say that again, that website.
GSocktickets.com.
Not many left. So if you do want to watch some of the best curlers in the world in your own backyard, get those tickets because that goes throughout this weekend. And if people can't get tickets because they're sold out, basically, how could people watch it once again?
Watch it on. They can watch it on Sportsnet, Sportsnet Plus as well. But only certain games. But rockchannel.com, they can watch whatever they want. And just don't forget Saturday night, Grand Slam of Karaoke. It's going to be live on Rock Channel around 10:30 p.m. Mountain Time and in venue. 9 of the world's greatest new, young, up-and-coming curling teams take to the stage to compete for an awesome wrestling belt and prize money.
And Rock League starts.
Rock League starts in the spring. We will be announcing all of that stuff.
That's all
soon.
still okay.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been announced how.
Well, it's going to be in the spring. We're going to be announcing
it-
dates, locations, everything.
I was curious about
November,
locations.
around first week of November when we're in Tahoe, we're going to announce
Sweet.
a lot of stuff.
That's gonna be absolute. Nick, it was great meeting you. Thank
great
you for
meeting you
coming
too,
in.
man.
This was wonderful. Jolene, thanks for connecting this.
Yeah,
coming in as
happy
well.
to. Yeah.
Really appreciate this. Go watch curling. And especially these Grand Slam of curling events, because I think there would be a little bit of from back in the day, it's just you're sitting there knitting while watching curling. Yeah. That's not the case.
No, they
at the Grand Slam of curling.
They rock.
Hey, we've got the Lock Shop coming up next here at Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta, myself and Huss. We'll talk Jays, we'll talk NHL, we'll talk NFL, we'll talk CFL, lots to get to with Huss. And I don't know if Dusty's going to pop on. We got Oil Stream at noon, we got EST Afternoons, we got the Reed Wilkins Show all until 6 o'clock. And then actually later tonight, 7:30, Green and Gold kickoff show, myself, Jay Milne will get you set for Elks and Lions, a pivotal game for the Elks getting into the playoffs. We'll get you set with the pregame show. We'll also have the postgame show for you live right here on EST once that one ends. On behalf of Nick, Jolene, I am Matt. Thanks for tuning into the Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Log shop in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go. There you go, right in front of the camera.
First-time guest, long-time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Zola with here, joining us today.